Hello, in this video I'm gonna show you how to install a fresh copy of Windows onto your Lenovo LOQ 15. So if you want to install a fresh copy of Windows, whether you just don't have any system on your laptop or like there is a system but you want to fully reset your laptop, or you want to install it in a different language, then this video is gonna be for you. But there are gonna be a few things that we will need. So if you don't have any system on your laptop right now, then you'll need another Windows PC. But if you already have Windows that you can access on this laptop, then you can also use this laptop itself, because we will need to create a bootable USB drive. So as we are talking about the bootable USB drive, you will need a USB drive. It can be either USB type A or USB type C. This drive actually has two slots, so I can use either of them. And now the first, and also you are gonna need a wired internet connection. So I'm just gonna use a cable that I have here. I need to plug it into my laptop because while installing the Windows from a USB drive, you will not have drivers to Wi-Fi. So before we begin, we need to take another laptop and create the bootable drive. So I'm gonna close the lid of this laptop and I'm gonna put a different one here, which I have, and let's open it. Maybe I'll just take that laptop from there. Okay, and now let's begin. So I'm gonna turn on that laptop because I think it hasn't been turned on yet. And I'm gonna unlock it, and first we need to download the copy of Windows. So let's go to a browser. I'm gonna select Google Chrome and search for Windows. You can just search for Windows 11 ISO and make sure you are downloading it from the official Microsoft.com website. So not any other one, it has to be the Microsoft.com. Here we can just click on slide down until you see download Windows 11 disk image ISO for x64 devices, and then you can select Windows 11, download now, then select the language. So it is important to know the language that you select, to select the correct language, because if you select a different one, then the whole setup process is gonna be in that language. So I'm gonna select English International and click on continue. Then I'm gonna select 64-bit download, and as you can see, it has started downloading here. So it says it'll take a really long while. Let's see. Okay, so I think I already have this image downloaded from a few days ago. Yes, I have it, and this is the exact same file. So this is what I'm gonna use. And another tool that we need, so I'm just gonna pause the download since I already have it, but if you don't, then you'll just need to wait. Then I'm gonna search for Rufus. This is a tool that will allow us to create the bootable USB. So go to the rufus.ie website. It has to be the exact one. Make sure that you're always downloading files from the official websites. Then I'm gonna select just the first option, and then it's downloaded. So I can double click on it to open it, and I'll need to, okay, it's opened right away. Now I'm gonna plug in my USB drive to this laptop. So, okay, it is discovered now. And let's begin by selecting the ISO. So click on select, then go to the folder where your ISO file, which is the disk image of Windows 11, is downloaded to. So most probably downloads. I'm gonna click on that, then open. Now it'll scan the image for a second. And now we can start. And as we start, you will be asked a few questions. So actually, if you don't have a Ethernet cable or don't want to log into a Microsoft account, then feel free to select the option remove requirement for an online Microsoft account. Then you will not have to connect to internet, but actually you will need to do that anyway in the future because you need to download updates. So I'm just gonna unselect it because maybe some of you aren't installing it via Rufus, and instead of that are choosing the drive that has been bought by you. So you just like don't have this option, and I'm gonna unselect it so this tutorial just works for all of you. And I'm gonna click on OK, then OK. But of course you can feel free to modify it however you want. Okay, it's just doing that, so it has opened a few windows of File Explorer. I've just closed them because I shouldn't have them opened as it is doing any operations on this drive. And when it says it's ready, that means that you can just close the Rufus and unplug your USB drive. So I've just unplugged it, and we can continue to our Lenovo laptop. So I'm gonna take this second laptop out of here. Okay, I think it's visible well enough in the camera. So what we have to do is first plug in the drive. So I've just plugged it in. Make sure that the laptop is fully off. So if you don't know how to put it fully off, just press and hold on this power button, which is here, until it fully shuts down and the laptop isn't lighting or blinking. And then before we continue, also let's plug in the laptop with a charger. Even if it has 100% battery, then I still suggest plugging it in, because it may take a while to download and install the Windows, so we don't want to have our laptop discharged in the process. So I have my charger plugged in to the wall, and now I'm gonna plug it in at the back of the laptop. It has the port right here. This is the port for charging, so we can just plug it right in. It'll light up here. It is white, so it's at 100% right now, but I'll still prefer to plug it in so it doesn't discharge, as I said before. Okay. And now we need to click on the power button, and as we click on it, after releasing it, we need to start pressing on F12 key until we get into one-time boot menu, which will allow us to select the USB drive as our boot up drive. So we need to press on the power key, then F12 multiple times. You can do that to make sure it catches it. Okay, and now we are in the please select boot device menu. So we can just use our arrows to select the USB device and click on enter. Now it'll start booting up from the drive. And if everything went correctly, then you'll see this screen. If something went wrong, then you can repeat the process. And now we just need to select the language and time and currency format, and our trackpad doesn't work. Our trackpad doesn't work because we don't have drivers for it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the keyboard so you can see as I'm using the keyboard to select things instead of the touchpad. Of course, you can just plug in an external mouse, that will work, but if you don't have an external mouse, then you can just follow the things that I'm doing on the keyboard in order to set it up. So I'm just gonna move the camera. Okay, and I think everything is well visible now. So we can just begin by clicking on Tab key. You can see how as I click on Tab key, it slightly starts pointing on any of the option. So it selects like time and currency. Now, as I click on Shift Tab, I go back. So I'm just gonna leave the language to install as English United States. But if you want to change it, just click on arrows, I believe. Actually, I don't have any options to language to install, but for time and currency, I can just change it. Although you can also change it later in settings. So I'm just gonna click on Enter now. Then you can change the keyboard or input method. So I'm just gonna change it with the arrows. Remember, while pointing on this select field, then tab to go to the next, and you can click on space. Now make sure Install Windows 11 is selected, then go to I agree, everything will be deleted, click on space, then click on enter to go further. And now we just need to accept the agreement, so I'm gonna go to start pointing on accept and click on space. Now it'll search for our disks. So if everything was found correctly, then you'll have at least 2 disks, and you can see that they have different partitions. If you don't have any system on this laptop and it has never had any system installed, then it'll just be disk 0 unallocated space without any partitions. Although if it has multiple ones, then I suggest you just looking at the biggest partition. So in this case it's 476 gigabytes. That means that it's almost half a terabyte. And then let's look at the biggest partition of disk 1, which says it's about 60 gigabytes, which means it's the smaller one, so we can easily identify that it's our USB drive, whereas the one with the bigger size is our disk. And it's really important to not accidentally install, select our USB drive for installation. And now if you only have disk 0 unallocated space and no disk 0 with partitions, or if the bigger disk is disk 1 in your case, just like your system disk, if it's only with unallocated space, then you can select that and click on enter. But if you have something like I have, then select all of the partitions that are there. So I'm gonna first start pointing on partition 1 by moving with arrows, then click on Alt-D on my keyboard. On some keyboard configurations it'll only work with the left Alt, so keep that in mind. Then I'm gonna select the partition 1 and click on Alt-D again, and do the same with all of the partitions, so there's only disk 0 unallocated space. And now, as we only have disk 0 unallocated space, we can make sure that we are pointing on disk 0. So as you move with arrows, make sure it's the disk 0. Now we can click on enter. Then click on tab to get to install and click on space or enter, whatever. And now we'll just need to wait. It may take a longer while, but I'll get back to you when everything is set up. I mean, not set up, well, when we get to the setup screen. And now we are in the setup process. So we still need to use our keyboard until it downloads the updates, which will be done in a moment. So first let's select the country or region. Remember, you can move with arrows. Then when you're done, just click on enter. And now select the keyboard layout. So I'm gonna find my then I'm gonna click on enter. If you want to add another layout, click on tab to add layout. If you don't, then go to skip and click on space. Then we need to connect our Ethernet network. So I'm gonna find the cable and plug it in at the back next to our charging port. It has to be plugged in upside down actually. Okay, I think it's done. It's identifying the network now. And we can click on tab to go to next, then click on space. And now it'll start checking for updates. Maybe it'll install them now. If not, then it'll install them in a moment. But you don't need to click on anything until it just goes into second part of the setup. So sometimes also after updating, it'll just revert to the beginning of the setup. It is pretty unfortunate, but this is how it is. And you'll just need to repeat the setup process. It'll then sometimes also install the updates again, but some new different updates this time. And after that, you'll be able to just continue with everything. So now I think I can just revert the camera to the previous state because we won't need a keyboard anymore since the touchpad should be working now. And if you want, then you'll just need to repeat. Maybe, no, you won't need to repeat anything. It should be working if you have internet connection. Okay, so it says I've lost internet connection and it happens every time I install Windows, so you just need to click on retry. So I'm just clicking on tab and space, then next again, so just click on tab until you're pointing on space. Then I'm gonna skip naming my device, so also I'm clicking on tab to get to skip for now. You can also just name it, but it'll restart the device, so it just takes the unnecessary time, and renaming device can be done earlier. And I'm also gonna record a video on the channel on how to rename the device, so in case you really need it, then you can just find it. And yes, it is updating right now, so we can just wait and it should be done in a moment. And as I can see, it has went back to the previous state of setup, so I just need to redo it. Let's see if the trackpad works now. It still doesn't, so you can just follow the steps from the previous setup.
Using a screen reader. Turn on narrator by pressing Windows plus Control plus Enter. For more
I'll just click on enter, then I'm gonna select the keyboard layout. For some people it'll work now, so it just depends, but in my case you can see that it didn't start working. No, I didn't mean to like add the layout, so I'm just gonna go back. And now it's again checking for updates. Let's see if it installs them now. I'm gonna skip naming the device. So now it is installing the update again, and this time it may take even longer or shorter depending on the connection and depending on which updates are getting installed now. But as I can see, it jumped right into installing 97%. So actually it may take short time now. And now we need to sign into the Microsoft account. So if while creating the USB bootable drive with Rufus you haven't unselected the Microsoft account, then unfortunately it is mandatory to do it. So I'm just gonna click on tab and click on sign in. I don't really like this fact that we have to sign in, but unfortunately, as we can see, we do. So I'm just gonna quickly sign in. If you don't have an account, you can create one. And actually, as we can see, the mouse works now, so it is also great. I'll just log in. Now we need to create PIN for our account. So it's just to have a faster way of signing. There's no way to skip that, so you just need to set the PIN. That's kind of great because it is important to have your PIN set. So I'm just gonna set it. And then it asks you for a few additional things like location, find my device. You can now select or leave that selected, whatever you prefer. I'm just gonna accept everything to make the process quicker, but you can read all of that and decide on your own. Then if on your Microsoft account there is any backup from a previous device, then you can click on continue. If it shows you this screen with welcome back. If you don't want to restore backup, then you can click on more options. Then you'll either have option to select a different backup from different device, or just click on setup as new PC, then click on setup as new PC again, and you'll just skip the part with restoring from backup. It is also just a thing that's up to you. Now you'll have to you can select the things like development, entertainment, depending on what you're doing on your laptop, but I'm gonna skip it because I don't think it actually does anything on this laptop. If you want to use your phone from your PC, if it's an Android, then you can scan the QR code. If it's an iPhone, then you can set it up later in settings, or if you don't want to set it up, then just click on skip. Then you'll also be asked about backing up your phone's photos to your laptop or like to OneDrive, I mean. You can also scan the QR code to do that, but I'm gonna click on skip because I don't really want to. Then if you want, you can also transfer the browsing data from your old browser. I'm gonna click on not now. Then it asks you if you want to have a free trial of Microsoft 365 family. I don't, because it's a 1 month free trial, and after that I'll be charged $130 per year. And then if I want Microsoft 365 Basic, which costs $2 per month, I also don't want that, so I'm gonna click on decline. Then I'm gonna click on next to use only the free features. And we are in. So that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.